We're at a very interesting point in time right now. The movie The Matrix is actually starting to come to life. See all these connections, all these predictions coming to life. But what I want to dive into today is that scene where Neo just downloads information right into his brain and he knows it right after. And I think that's possible. Maybe not instantly, within a day, within a week. You can actually digest knowledge that fast. You can build skills. You can push yourself to learn things at a very, very fast rate, almost learning them instantly. And I'm gonna go in through a couple things you can do to move towards that downloading information into your brain. I think this is really cool and I'd love to share with you so you can have accelerated learning and apply this to many areas of your life so you can really crush it in life. So the first one is being active. A lot of the times nowadays, people are very passive when they're taking in information, right? Just staring at it. Actively engage, take notes, right? You want to be active, engage with the content, ask yourself questions, make connections. It's so powerful to actually do this. Next thing, move on to optimize everything in your control to lead towards your understanding of this knowledge. Leverage music, books, movies, internet articles, YouTube videos, all towards learning one thing. You want to focus on learning one thing, one concept or two, very few things at once. And what you're doing, using the power of storytelling along with spaced repetition, using different learning styles, putting this in different forms, using visuals, using audio, using, actually doing it, or kinesthetics, making connections in your head. Using all of these things will allow you to understand it that much more. This spaced repetition actually helps with memory. So you want to look at the information one time, take a break, look at it again. Kind of like the Pomodoro method, but that's a little bit different. When you cram for a test right before you get the test, you're like, I don't remember anything that I learned. That's exactly what's coming into effect. You didn't use spaced repetition. This is much more effective than the rote memorizing method, which is just repeating something over and over again, reading something over and over again. I do think that's valuable, but spaced out. So looking at something over and over again, spaced out, right? You'll be in a different emotional state. You'll be in a different, you'll have different ideas, see it in a different way. You look at a book this year or a movie this year, you look at it next year, you're gonna see it through two entirely different sets of eyes because you've changed so much. So taking that phenomena and squishing it down to something smaller. Another thing I want you to do is take action. Taking action will allow you to actually understand the information much more. Think about a recipe. If you read a recipe 10 times, even with the spaced repetition, you're not going to know it as well as if you try doing it just once. Try making that cake. Okay, I need to measure this, I need to measure that. And every cake you make afterwards, you'll know so much better how to do it. Reading the recipe doesn't teach you in the way the actual experience will. So there's no substitute for actually doing it. And you'll learn actually so much faster with two things. You'll have the knowledge of people before you, people who have done the things, trial and error, right? And then we recorded it down and we wrote down what worked and what didn't. Now we have it in video form, we have the internet. Now all this information of all these people who've tried stuff is spread all out the world. Anyone can access it. So take from that reservoir of amazing information that we've collected over years, and then you take the actual practical experience going on your feet and actually doing it. Because sometimes what you read is not relevant to where you are right now, because maybe you're not taking action right now. So you only need to know what's happening the next step. So that's where kind of iteration goes. So you take massive action and then you study a little bit. Then you take what you learned, you apply it. If you come across an obstacle, you go back to relevant information. And then you iterate and you keep going to build this amazing way of learning. Another thing, relevant information. You want the information that you're taking in to be relevant, because there's millions of content. I know people always make the joke about underwater basket weaving, but where is that actually gonna help you? So you want to take things that are relevant to your goals. You don't want to just read these random facts or just watch these random YouTube videos that are being suggested to you. You want to actually consciously look at what goals you're trying to achieve, what areas will actually help you. You know, if you're interested in filmmaking, then maybe you should be looking at video essays, analyzing the story. Maybe you want to look at editing techniques. You want to look at how people are using the camera, tutorials on how to use the camera. Those three things are relevant to you. Even looking at, you know, storytelling, human psychology, those are all relevant. You don't want to look up maybe your video includes a chef. Maybe your film is about a chef, so maybe you're going to look at some cooking videos. Research the history of Gordon Ramsay. How did he get on television, right? How is a celebrity chef different from a chef in an actual restaurant? All these things you want to look at. But for someone else who's studying physics and trying to work on engineering this product for a mouse that's ergonomic, they're not going to be wanting to look at these cooking videos. They're going to want to look at ergonomics, right? How does your hand, what's the natural way of your hand? They're going to look at kinesiology. They're going to look at how the human body works. They're going to look at the function of mouses right now. They're going to look at what kind of materials can we use, plastics. So it's always looking at the relevant information. You take the relevant information, you take massive action, and you're really going to start to download that information. Really, again, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into leveraging these stories. You want to take stories that apply to what you're doing and take those lessons. Humans learn by storytelling, so watching a movie might even be an advantage to what you're doing, right? You're trying to understand how to learn faster, how to, maybe you're trying to learn how kind of society works, maybe where we're headed, maybe watch The Matrix. But it is very cold, it's very windy, so I'm gonna cut it off here. This was just an idea that I was thinking about that I kind of had to get on camera for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed it, and take care.